It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
So a common issue with 240s is that the harness is very low, and what happens is under high load or a very dropped car, the tire likes to hit the harness. So if you see here, I have a rubbed out harness that's getting dangerously close to damaging the wires. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to tuck the harness above the fender lining. And if you see here, it's also starting to rip here. So let's go ahead and do this, and if done correctly, you will not have to take the wheels off. Okay, so a common issue with pulling the fender off here is if you pan down here, a lot of 240s have really messed up pinch points. Like you see right here, that's a screw that actually holds one of the fenders in. So we're going to have to do some magical prying to get that screw out and pull the fender off. What are you doing?
Oh, baby,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
There are a total of 8 bolts you need to remove to get the fender off. 2 on the pinch points, 2 on the doors, 3 in the hood area, and 1 behind the bumper. The bumper one needs the bolts removed to be able to pry the bumper and reach it. So now that we have the fender off, we're going to cut all the zip ties, the factory zip ties that hold the main harness in. And basically we're going to be rerouting it above this fender line, so it's no longer in the wheel well. So what's going to happen is we're going to basically cut a slit on the fender here. So cut that out. And this is going to more or less tuck over here and run along the top of this line back down. And in order to get this to stretch properly, we basically need to cut this shroud off. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that will allow us to stretch the harness a little more. After trying scissors and a box cutter, we found that a sharp X-Acto knife is the easiest way to get the tape off. Just make sure that you don't cut too far and hit the wires. For this step, we recommend using reinforced Dremel cutting wheels, as you are cutting into steel and it tends to eat through the Dremel wheels quite quick. Hey! When you're done cutting the box out, we highly recommend deburring the edges to avoid cutting yourself and risk damaging the harness when you do the next part of this tutorial. So once the slit is cut, you're going to want to basically grab the harness and pull it up and over so it runs along the whole length of the ridge, like so. And once that's done, you want to grab some zip ties and zip tie everything up. You can also zip tie the hood cable if you want to. So just grab some zip ties. There is no real wrong way to do this. Zip tie whatever you can, wherever you can, to make sure that harness does not fall back into the wheel well. So once you're done, it should look like this. So you see the harness is no longer in the car, and it's tucked nice and over everything. So now what's going to happen is we're going to hammer this lip up so it acts more as a protective barrier for the harness. Bang the lip of the fender the same way you keep saying you would bang your friend's mom. Sure, she's the nice lady and offers you food every time you're over, but you're still mad at your friend and need to get your point across. Now that we're basically done, you can see that the harness is tucked up in the fender line. We can go ahead and put the fender back on the car and do the next side. For us, since this is the bigger harness of the two, the right side harness is a little bit smaller. We don't rub on the right side, so we're done. All we need to do is put the car back together and just double check that it no longer rubs on the harness. But it's pretty simple. The single hardest part about this is really just taking the fender off, especially if you have an older 240 and your pinch point's all messed up. But yeah, that's it.